Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. Exciting times ahead for Warhammer the Old World. What a fantastic reveal we've just had. Let's talk all about it.
Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems, and offer custom items to suit your club, your event, or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description.
Well, I think we all guessed it was going to be Cathay from the little tease they gave us a couple of days ago with the Cathay and rockets and the little chest there. But I'm not sure we all expected it to be this big, this many units and a whole reinforcements box. This full second wave will really round out the Cathayan army into a fully fledged army in my mind. Enough units there to play many different game styles, which at the moment it doesn't. It's a very, very limited roster. So let's take a look at what's in the reveal. Defend the Great Bastion with peasants, Astromancers and really loud guns, and that pretty much sums it up. I think it was always clear when Cathay joined the game, so to speak, that it was expanding beyond the borders of what is the traditional Old World, but by Cathay coming to the Old World to aid the Empire and Westerland and Marienburg in their battle against Friedel's invasion, or it still felt like they were trying to keep it within that sort of part of the world. And this really opens it right up and shows now that they are going to expand the game to the whole of the map, or at least have the opportunity to do so. So the Empire of Grand Cathay has made its power known in the Old World, but back on home turf, disaster has struck. The Great Bastion is under concerted attack from the forces of chaos, and should it fall, the will of the Celestial Dragon will shatter with it. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article to you. You can do that yourselves, but if you are unaware at the moment, all of the crack troops that are defending the Great Bastion in Cathay have gone to the Empire to help out the Empire in their war against chaos. And back at home, that means the peasants are left to man the walls, and it appears that this is what this army, this sort of additional army, and the Arcane journal with it that's going to tell the story of that and the narrative around it. And first off, we have the Astromancers of the Celestial Court, and if you're a Total War player, you'll know that these already existed within the wider lore of the game, but there was only one magic user that you could take in the Cathayan army at this point, and this gives you a foot option for the first time and a standard mounted option, and there's even a crowman there as well. And they said during the stream, during the preview, that it would be a familiar. So really cool looking miniatures there. Very cool. Very excited to find out what the rules are for these guys. I wonder if we'll see a new law of magic in the book as well, even if it's only a limited one, to represent the different kind of a magic you're likely to see from the Astromancers rather than the usual magic users. After that, we have the crane gun team here with the pervasives that look really cool. We've got crane gun options at the moment in the balloon kit, in the lantern, but these are them on solid ground, so to speak. And again, really cool looking miniatures from these shots. I'm looking forward to seeing them close at hand and painting them. I loved painting up my Cathay army, and some of my favourite stuff was painting up the crew for the lantern. I just really liked them, and the crew for the cannon and the rocket battery as well. And these follow all those aesthetics, so I'm really looking forward to see how they go. So these are slightly longer range ones, and then we move on to the Iron Hail Gunners, again also available as an option in your lantern, slightly shorter range but a bigger punch, so to speak. And I quite like these little units of 6 there. I don't know if they'll work like that or they're designed to work like that. Again, really looking forward to finding out the rules for these. As I mentioned right at the top, the Cathayan army that has gone to the Old World to aid Westerland are a crack army, and all of the Jade Warriors and the Jade Lancers, they are elite troops and not the peasants. And this is what you're left defending the walls, the normal peoples of Grand Cathay. And Again, that same aesthetic that we started to see a little bit of with the gunners and in the lantern crew and in the cannon crews, but even more basic here. And I love this. I almost prefer this aesthetic rather than the highly armoured troops. These are really cool. Looks like this kit can be made in two ways, with your spears here and also as bowmen as well. And I think they look really, really cool. And all of this comes in the Defenders of the Great Bastion reinforcement set. They've already teased at this point the new Marauders, and they're in a reinforcement set as well. And it feels like what happens is this will be a launch box as a reinforcement thing, but once they're sold out, you can buy the kits as individual things. They're not replacing the current battalion boxes we've got. I might be wrong there, but that's my understanding of those. So if you've already got a Cathay army, you could grab this. I know I definitely will be looking to do that. I love all of these miniatures and I'd like to add to my existing Cathay army. But it also, as they mentioned on the stream, you could probably start with this as well if you wanted more of a peasant style army. But I think the other one will give you more points worth, I imagine. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But let's see what it says you have in the box. So it contains 53 individual models split between two heroes, which is cool to get in a box, and that shows you that it's the reinforcements rather than the standard battalion. And then the familiar, so you get the Onyx Crowman there, and a unit of 8 crane gun teams, and then 12 iron hail gunners, and then a mass of 30 peasant levy, which I'm sure you could build in different ways. At the moment on that picture, I think it shows you 2 lots of 10 with spears and 1 lot with bows as well. So God knows what the best mix of that is, but a really, really cool looking set. And of course we have the Arcane Journal, the breaching of the Great Bastion. When these rumours came around the last couple of days, or the more than heavy rumours, I suppose, based on the teaser that it was Cathay coming again, I was really excited as a Cathay player, but also a little bit concerned. We've already had a second, in inverted commas, Arcane Journal for Cathay with the Dawn of the Storm Dragon, and I felt at the time, as much as I like everything it's in it, that the 3 pages of magic items maybe should have been kept for a later book, and you could have used those pages maybe for an Army of Infamy for Marienburg or something like that. And then when I was guessing about what might be in this book, I hoped that maybe there'd still be some more Empire bits. Well, we're not going to get that, because this is a tale, a narrative based actually in Cathay, and a chaos attackers on their Great Wall. And looking at the picture there, looks like probably more Chaos Warriors or something like that. I don't think we're going to see demons yet. They're a legacy army, so it looks like more of the same in terms of what's attacking the Empire. And the irony is they get attacked by similar forces back home. So I do like that. It definitely expands the army in a different way. I'm glad it's just not more of the same. The concerns would be, obviously Cathay's getting all these new units, and are they going to get another 3 pages of magic items and things? And as a combined army, are they going to be, they're already quite a strong army, which is well known on the internet. So that would be my concern. But I'm a positive kind of person, and the positives far outweigh the potential negatives here. And I'm really looking forward to sort of delving into this Arcane Journal. But let's read through what it says that it's in the book. We don't get everything, but it gives us a bit of an outline. 48 pages as usual, provides a deeper focus and lore around Cathay and the common folk. So we get more background about Cathay, which is good as well, especially for a new faction. With all the other factions, if you're a player of fantasy of old, you've got 30, 40 years of lore build up over many army books and many editions of Warhammer Fantasy. This is new, so it almost needs to be embedded more with extra lore, in my opinion. So it provides a deeper look at the Empire and its people, a timeline of the Age of Dragons, descriptions of the Celestial Dragons, Emperor's Realms, and how magic is studied and used. So really, really interesting to read all that stuff. Also documents the mounting shadow of chaos, their assault on the Great Bastion, and the plan to quell the threat. A new grand Cathay army list that replaces the original. That's interesting. So I imagine these units will be combined in with the existing Cathay army list to provide basically a grand army list. I think that's the way it's going to be. This is included alongside a new Army of Infamy as well, Warriors of the Wind and Field, which I imagine is to do with defending the walls there, whereas the Jade Fleet is joining with Empire in the Empire. Plus rules for Celestial Forged Armour, Masters of the Elemental Winds and the Will of Dragons. Special narrative scenario, the Battle of Nanli. That'd be interesting to find what that is, whether that's a historic one or to do with the war against chaos here in Cathay and the fight of the Great Bastion. Also gives you the chance to take on a chaos incursion with a grand army of peasants. Well, okay, that's pretty much answered that. I should have read the rest of the sentence. But all looking very cool, and that picture there shows the combined army, I suppose, of the new box, the additions, and the existing one. And that little asterisk that was about the combining of the armies, you'll still need Arcane Journal Grand Cathay for the existing unit profiles and enhancements of them, but army construction changes based on the new units in the journal. And that's interesting. I imagine that will get a little bit of flack. The existing Grand Cathay book is not very old at all, and already they're replacing effectively the army list. It's only a page and it'll only be adding these units. I don't mind that. I can see that these units weren't ready to release at the time when they wrote that, and now they're adding it and it's creating a bigger army list. So it's fine by my mind, but I can imagine some people saying, well, it already invalidated my book, blah blah. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I don't see it as a major issue. You still need that other book. It's still valid. It's just whatever the army list is now going to be bigger and in a separate thing. But it does mean that if you want to apply the full range of units, you'll need this one as well. And technically, you're going to need Dawn of the Storm Dragon because of the magic items in that. So 3 arcane journals. Maybe it's building somewhere towards the size or even larger of the old army books. I'm a fluffy, casual, lore-based player first and foremost, and I'm a painter and I'm driven by miniatures. So what I see first there is some absolutely stunning looking miniatures from the pictures. I'll never fully judge till I get them in hand, but those are exciting and they're the kind of things I'd want to add to my Cathay army. So I think that's an easy big tick for this. I think another really important thing that I'm glad they're doing is that this is expanding the faction at home as well. So we're not just ignoring that they've travelled a long way and they're just a small elite army in the old world. This is saying this game can grow, and I think we should be excited about that. I know that's changed maybe a little bit in the wording and the things they've said when they launched the game, that it was going to be a narrow-based game, and that's why some of the other factions weren't there. We know that there's more to that. That wasn't just the reason why some of the legacy factions aren't around at the moment. But this does show that the game is sticking around. There's lots of investment and they're going to expand further, and I think that's really exciting. Does that mean we're more likely to see some of the legacy factions return? I have no idea at all. Maybe not even. Maybe they're having to expand in different ways. I still hope so. But if we look at the positives from this, all this investment in plastic and expanding into the land of Cathay itself, and the game being played there as well, which means we can start to hope about maybe some kind of trolls, maybe some hobgoblins and all the other little things that are around Cathay. So there's this chance to expand into new factions and other new factions that we've not seen before, and I think that's really important and really exciting. It goes without saying, I really want to know what you think about that and all of the permutations of that for the game. So let me know in the comments below. I hope that this is going to help balance Cathay out a little bit. It's definitely known in the competitive scene as something that's a very overtuned army at the moment. I think it's just a few things, to be honest with you. Something needs to happen with lanterns, and that's the main problem. And then a couple of magic items could do with being towed down a little bit as well. No stacking on the cannons. That's the way I play them anyway. So I think an FAQ could probably fix those things, and then hopefully this new army list, and maybe there'll be a points adjustment in that as well. Who knows? Maybe there will be points adjustments in this book, so we can hope. Look forward to it. But with this expanded army list with peasants in there as well, hopefully we'll get a different kind of Cathay army that's a little bit more balanced and not just so pure elite. And that will fix those issues. But I think the positives far outweigh the negatives there, and there's lots of hope there that this army will be more balanced now as it's more whole and complete. Now, you may be waking up in the UK and you haven't actually seen the stream, and I can't remember if this is mentioned in the article, but they said late winter, early spring. So they're going to be talking UK company, I imagine. So that's could be Marchish time, maybe. Maybe February. It's still a little bit early if you're saying late winter, but maybe Feb. But I imagine March into April sort of time, based on what they said. times and dates change. A little bit of me is happy actually that it's not going to land first thing in January, because I've got so much stuff I want to paint and I definitely couldn't ignore this. But that's a first world problem, and many of you will want that straight away. But it does feel like it's coming relatively soon. If we think back to the last big reveal when a Cathay was announced, that was in March time, and then we got them in July time, didn't we, in the summer? So it's maybe a similar kind of gap. So still a few months off, but enough time to get excited about them and hope. We've probably got 3 months plus anyway, which is really, really cool. And it's slightly Warhammer the Old World adjacent, but there's lots of news for Dark Water. I'm not going to post loads and loads of pictures and talk about that in detail because this video will get too long. But there's lots of miniatures there that can be used, loads of pesticles and things, and they're going to be available separately as well as part of the new Age of Sigmar release. So I know players of Beasts will be looking at those miniatures. I'm definitely looking at those miniatures. And then if you're a Chaos player, there's quite a lot of nice nurgly new knights as well. So you might want to use those as Chaos Warriors, as mounted ones as well. So it's definitely worth checking those out. They look really, really cool. They might be quite chunky, might be a squeeze to get on some bases. But as Old World players, we will look to get our miniatures anywhere in the range if they're nice enough. So definitely worth looking out at those as well. But that's it. You can probably hear from my voice. It's quite late here in the UK. It's coming up to about 2:30. I'm going to try and get this edited and uploaded so that people that on European time that missed the reveals last night, you can watch this with your coffee in the morning. Hopefully you are watching this with your coffee in the morning. But do put in the comments below all of your thoughts on it. I'd love to get chatting about it, and head over to the channel's Discord and join in all the chatter there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's always fun to talk about all of the new reveals, even if it's just kind of regurgitating what you can read, I know, on Warcom yourselves. But it's lovely to get a conversation going in the comments, and I love chatting to all of you who subscribe to the channel, my patrons and so on. So if you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and just let me know in the comments below what you think of all this news. Anything you're excited for, anything you're not excited for, I'd love to hear about it regardless. If you'd like to support me, please do check out the links in the video description. Check out my Patreon. It is the very best way of supporting me, but there's lots of other links in there as well, including the Warhammer merch store now if you're picking up things for Christmas. And do check out the channel sponsor, Counterattack Bases. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.